How do you see it?
And it didn't work. I mean, for months and months, even on this network, we talked about this stuff over and over and over ad nauseum, and it didn't move the needle. Joe Biden tried, it didn't work. The vice president tried, it didn't work. And if you believe Harry Enton's commentary earlier today on our network, Donald Trump's approval right now is up, 18 points, I believe? Despite all of these things, I remember data in a litany of articles from the Washington Post and the New York Times about how this matters and all the polling data that suggested voters were so concerned about all of these issues, and yet Donald Trump improved his margins from 2020, including among demographics that not a single Republican have done well with since Richard Nixon. And I don't think you can dismiss any of those things. I mean, if I'm being, I guess, blunt, Laura, I don't think the average American person cares about these things when compared to other issues that really impact their day-to-day lives.
Let me ask you on this point, because obviously, as a prosecutor, I cared not about an election where I was talking about somebody who I believed had committed a crime. Do you think that voters are the only audience for a criminal proceeding? I mean, that would be disingenuous if you only focus on it because of politics. If voters are one thing, but jurors and the courts are a very another different topic.
Well, jurors are voters. And I think we have the verdict. The jury is out, right? And the American people decided that they wanted to give the former president another 4 years, regardless of what their views were on what he may or may not have done. And we have, again, a lot of data on what people's opinions are about the former president and his behavior. They still said, I don't care, because I believe he's better on the economy. I believe he's better on cost of living. I believe he's better on economic dislocation. I believe he's better on immigration. I believe he's better on foreign policy than the person he's running against. The jury is in. We know what the verdict is, and the American people spoke.
Well, definitely.
What's going on, everyone? As you saw, Jack Smith's case got dropped. The January 6th case got dropped. And many voters, I think, seeing that the only people who cared about this stuff was Democrats. Like, Democrats are the only people who still cared about something that happened 3 years ago, where we had BLM riots, we had Chaz Zone, where literally we had people create an autonomous zone where it was literally lawless. There was no jurisdiction. No government officials can get in there. People were dying. There was sexual assault going on rampant in Chaz. It seems like the Democrats completely forgot about that. They memory hold that, right? And they want us to be so concerned about January 6th when they gave out selectively edited clips that they found out of I don't know how many hours of videotape. Vivek Ramaswamy, I remember when he was running as a presidential candidate, he exposed how the police instigated the rioting by throwing tear gas into the crowd to cause them to react in a very violent manner outside, right? There was a lot of clips and videos that it's just so much video that an average individual would not sit there and shift through it. All I say that to say this, that January 6th was nothing more than a riot. And if we're going by, this is the double standard that many conservatives point out, is that BLM, there was more people that died during BLM riots. There was more property damage that happened compared to January 6th, yet we're still talking about January 6th. Make it make sense. Like, if you want to keep reminding people of an incident, when you make people remember the incident that caused more property damage, that killed more people died during these events than January 6th? But no. And we all knew that this case was political from the get-go. And I love the claim, the point that Michael made in that clip that I just showed you. How look at the groups that shifted towards the Republican Party. My God, this is what happens when you don't focus on the substance of the matter. People don't give a damn about your political feelings, and this is how you knew Democrats had nothing, because all they had was attack Trump, attack Trump, attack Trump. And I told you, attacking Trump is not a good strategy. Like, look, check out this clip from The View where you have Whoopi, yes, Whoopi, being the voice of reason on The View.
I think what we're all saying is we're going to sit and watch. We're going to wait and see, because we can't do anything else except...
I'm not going to wait and see. I mean, this guy is told us he's a retribution. He's going to be a dictator.
There's nothing to be done until you know what you're fighting. It's pissing in the wind doesn't help. You just get a wet face.
But I mean, what I'm saying is I have no false expectations that at 78 he's going to all of a sudden turn into another human being. And I'm not going to spend, I spent weeks telling people that he was apocalyptic. I'm not going to change now, because it's still the same man.
Treating every single thing like
I think that's when we lose credibility.
Well, here's the thing. You lose credibility in many different ways. If you don't know what you're talking about and you accuse him of something, then they're going to blow it back. That's why I say we need to wait and see exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, Whoopi making sense. What is this a parallel universe that we walk up into? Because they realize the consequences, human nature. People only respect consequences, and until now they were absolved from the consequences. They made all kinds of claims about Donald Trump, right? They do all these little smear campaigns against Donald Trump, and you've seen it now with his cabinet picks. You've seen recently, like, for some reason, CNN, all these liberal news networks, they're so concerned about Musk and him buying MSNBC, but they wasn't concerned about George Soros. Everyone is noticing, yo, you guys are partisan, and you hide your partisanship with this shield of objectivity. Oh, we're just reporting the facts, and the facts disproportionately favors liberals. Well, if that was true, how are you mostly wrong? Everyone knew that these are fraudulent charges. Hey, they're only bringing up these charges because Trump is running for re-election. This is the only reason they're there. And now that Trump's president, they have to drop him now. And many people said this is election interference. All the cases against Trump is just falling away. Oh, because he got immunity, Kenny. Of course they're going to fall away. But they were fraudulent. Like, people had concerns about them from the very start. But I digress. Let's see how Fox News broke the news about the whole case, and then I'll elaborate further in the video.
Special counsel Jack Smith is seeking to dismiss the Trump election interference case in Washington, D.C. We should note that this was expected. We've been reporting for a few weeks now that this would happen since.
And I can already hear it, like the liberals crying in the back saying, "Oh my God, this is a blow on democracy." No, it's a blow on your bureaucracy. That's what it was. That your tactics didn't work. Right? What happened with the Fannie Willis case? All of a sudden now, once it got pushed back past the election, you're like, I don't care anymore. It's so interesting how they always do these little political things, which is obviously politically motivated, and they try to pretend that these politically motivated cases, this lawfare against Trump, somehow it was to protect democracy. How is it protecting democracy from preventing a candidate to be on the ballot? How is that protecting democracy? It's not, but it is protecting bureaucracy, and that's the reality of the threats to our democracy. The labeling, I was almost cursed, because the reality is it's threat to Democrat establishment bureaucracy. This is the reality. Like I said, these people are not virtuous, moral people that's standing up for the good of the people. They're only standing up for their interest and their side. Because I already pointed out numerous times, Democrats are extremely more tribal than conservatives. Debate me that in the comment section.
Since the DOJ cannot prosecute a sitting president, today this news brings us one step closer to this case formally being dropped. The judge is going to need approval for this before anything is officially dismissed, as David's reporting, and that could come as soon as today. I believe David Spunt is up now. He's got this news for us. David.
Well, hey, Sandra, after almost 2 years of this Jack Smith saga, things seem to be ending for him. We just need the judge to sign off on it after thousands of pages and hundreds of hours of interviews.
And millions of taxpayer money for a guy that many people even question his legitimacy. Hey, special counsel, you wasn't appointed. You didn't go through any confirmation process. You just, hey, I'm going to prosecute Trump with taxpayer money. And the government said, the DOJ or whoever said, okay, huh? Imagine Trump did that with Matt Gaetz. Oh, I'm just going to elect you special counsel, Matt Gaetz. Without any confirmation hearing, the left would be throwing a riot. But here's Jack Smith. It's effectively what they did. All these, it's so funny how they just blatantly do things and they create all these unprecedented things. They start all these trends, and then they get mad if Republicans play the same game. And then they're gonna run and cry like they're the ones protecting democracy. When they do things they do things that like spit at the face of democracy. I digress.
Comes down to just 6 pages. Jack Smith, the special counsel, asking Judge Tanya Chutkan to dismiss this superseding indictment. This is the election interference case in Washington, D.C., where Donald Trump was charged with trying to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Ultimately, Smith says that DOJ does not prosecute sitting presidents. This never went to trial. It was supposed to go to trial earlier this year. That never happened. So he's asking to dismiss this case. Separately, we're waiting to see if and how he's asking to move forward in the documents case in Florida. Now, you may say that case was dismissed this summer, and that's true. It was dismissed this summer. However, Jack Smith, at the time, he didn't know Donald Trump was going to win, and he filed an appeal with the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta. We're told that he's also going to be filing something soon, winding down that case as well. So as of now, these cases are not officially dropped yet, but Smith is asking Judge Chutkan, who's expected to move along with it, and say, okay, we're going to drop this case because we cannot prosecute a sitting president. Separately, if I may add, President-elect Trump said that he would fire Jack Smith within, quote, 2 seconds of taking office. It doesn't appear that the president-elect will even have the opportunity to do that, because we've been reporting for several weeks now that Jack Smith will be gone at that point. On January 20th at noon, he will have stepped down. So at some point over the next several weeks, he's going to step down. They're going to close up the special counsel office, and this case will not go to trial. So
imagine just create an office just to prosecute your political opponents. Oh, what is the life to be a Democratic politician, huh? This is one of my main concerns, is that a lot of these institutions, the DOJ, a lot of them lean Democrat. A lot of them are Democrats in these institutions. Democrats have a way of just infiltrating an institution, and then they create all these woke standards, right? And then filter out for people who think just like them ideology for the most part. And that's how they get away with crap like this. This was the liberal wet dream. Oh my God, Trump is gonna be in jail. You saw how happy the liberal media was when they got the mugshot of Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump said, okay, if you want to be happy about it, I'm gonna use my adversity to my advantage. And this is one of Donald Trump's biggest strengths, that he's able to turn his adversity into an advantage. Okay, you're gonna try to embarrass me with this mugshot. All right, I'm gonna make it as iconic as I can. And then everyone started wearing it on shirts. He started selling merchandise with it, which pissed off the liberal media, by the way. He used the adversity they were giving him, and he used it to his advantage. Essentially, the liberal media did more to help Trump than hurt Trump. And that, I think, really pisses off a lot of liberals. That's why a lot of liberals on X goes, the CNN is the reason why Donald Trump won. This is why they come up with these kooky theories saying that the CNN, the media apparatus, is covering Trump in a favorable light, and they don't want to cover Kamala Harris. But you guys, your hatred for Trump is what gave him more coverage than Kamala Harris did. Make it make sense. And y'all just mad that he outplayed you guys. He outsmart you guys. Americans saw Americans saw all this as nothing more than political games. And then now y'all running the blame game. Oh, who's to blame for this? Oh, he should have started it sooner. But what's the point? Because when Trump just got out of office, Trump was at his lowest point. They're like, oh yeah, he ain't coming back. There's no way he's going to make a political comeback. And as soon as he became a threat again, we got to remove him from the ballot. Oh, we got to charge him with insurrection, even though he was never convicted of insurrection. But you kept calling him an insurrectionist. Fake news. All this stuff is political. You guys are partisan. And then you just made him more relatable. People were like, yo, they're prosecuting this man. The minute Jack Smith became special counsel and he created this fake committee and he went after Trump, Trump's approval ratings went up. When they raided Mar-a-Lago, his approval ratings went up. You see, they do it to themselves. I believe if Democrats just was straight up and say, yo, we're just going to straight up campaign against him, we're not going to do all of this lawfare stuff, I don't think Trump will be as popular as he was. But y'all victimized Trump by doing all this stuff. This is the reality. And America rallied behind him and said, nah, we're not going to reward Democrats for doing these tactics. And that's one thing I said on my channel, that we can't reward the Democrats for doing this tactic. We have to punish them for this. And this is the punishment that Americans were sending a message to you. Trump is more popular than ever. After you did all that, after you spent millions of taxpayer dollars, the time and effort to file these cases, and he came out more popular, more politically stronger than ever before. Ooh, that gotta hurt the liberal psyche. I see why y'all getting mental breakdowns online. I see why it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and y'all still spazzing about Donald Trump, and he hasn't even taken office yet. I see why y'all reacting the way you do. Because if I spent all that time trying to discredit a man, smear a man, prosecute a man, got 34 charges on him, and he still won the presidency, yeah, I'll feel some type of way too. Let's finish out the clip.
So while it was expected, it's certainly a big deal to see that special counsel Jack Smith, who's been a thorn in the side of Donald Trump for over 2 years, is officially asking a judge to drop his case.
David Spunt, on that breaking news for us, just reading through the government's motion to dismiss this, it reads, quote, in part, quote, the government has conferred with the defense counsel who does not object to this motion. Big news, John.
Boy, yeah. I think I said everything I had to say during my little monologue there. Yo, I see why y'all so distraught. I see why y'all spazzing out. I see why the liberals' tears seem to be more sweet than ever before. Because imagine you did all that and he still won. You spent $1 billion, and Trump still won. Who? You went into debt. Trump still won. You paid celebrities, I don't know how much money. $500 million on staff, and he still won. You had the mainstream media covering Donald Trump with 87% of the negative news. You had the government coming after him with unprecedented charges, and he still won. Hey, man, I don't feel sorry for liberals, but I understand why y'all reacting the way you are online. But I'll let you guys off with that. Let me know your thoughts about the whole Jack Smith case. What do you think about January 6ers? Do you think January 6ers should be released already? I mean, it's been 3 years and we're still holding a lot of them in jail. It makes no sense to me. But to me, January 6th was nothing more than a riot. And as usual, the mainstream media made a mountain out of a molehill. But I digress. Let me hear your thoughts about this whole situation in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.